Fam, what's up? How's it going, everyone? Hit the thumbs up. Run the thumbs up, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much for joining me. What's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys sticking with us going into the 2024 year. Hit the thumbs up. Run the thumbs up on this video. Thank you very much. Have a lot to talk about today and want to try to see if we can get the call-in show going again. So I'm going to post the call-in line number in the comment box. And if we can't get the call-in line number going on this format, then I am going to come back at the next hour and do the call-in show. So the call-in line number is 205-850-1994. Again, I will post that up in the screen so you guys can call in and I'll take your call. Either way, we're going to have a call-in show today. If it's not right now, it'll be just in a little while. So you just hang tight. There's a lot of stuff to go over right now. Run the thumbs up, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. Feels good to be back in Tuscaloosa. And yesterday, I got a bunch of stuff done around the house. I watched some NFL games that were on, so we're going to dive into that. And, of course, the national championship game is going on tonight. So, but I wanted to start out this video talking about Earl Little Jr., actually, and his father. Okay, so as you know, there's a lot of comments going on social media, and I think it's always interesting to look at when parents are posting on social media. I personally don't think it's a good look, but this is the world that we live on, and this is what we're going to talk about. So to kind of set the stage, Earl Little's father posts tape of Earl Little Jr. saying that he doesn't understand why he didn't play at the University of Alabama. And in case you missed it, Earl Little hit the transfer portal and now has committed to Florida State. Okay, so and the footage that I saw was pretty good. I mean, footage is always going, film don't lie for sure. And nobody was ever doubting his talent, in my opinion. So you kind of wonder, why didn't he play at the University of Alabama? Well, I think it comes down to the fact that A, you had to wait your turn, and B, this new world of college football, it's not like Alabama was trouncing everybody. Like, you had to play the upperclassmen. You had to play the best players during each game throughout the season. Look at the gauntlet that Alabama's defense faced this season, right? If you go back to the beginning, I mean, Texas, Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin, right? You had Tennessee, you had Ole Miss, as I mentioned, you had LSU, the Heisman Trophy quarterback. So there wasn't a lot of opportunities to play some of these younger guys. I mean, you saw that Jake Pope hit the transfer portal as well. I'm going to recap all the guys that hit the portal. So, it's tough to see a player like Earl Little Jr. hit the transfer portal, and I'm sure that those are difficult conversations to have with Coach Saban. But the parents, want to see these players play right away, and this is with everything that we have with NIL and playing time. You can pop somewhere else and just play right away, but is it the best place for you? It might be the best place for you right now. But like the long-term development and being at Alabama and competing against the best every day, is Florida State going to get you to that same level? I don't know. I mean, in the case with Earl Little Jr., I think he's talented enough to be able to be in the league. I mean, his father played in the league from 1998 to 2005. I understand the frustration from the parent standpoint, but sometimes you just have to wait. You got to be patient, but that is no longer the case anymore. There's no more patience in college football. Like, play right now or transfer somewhere else where you can play. So best wishes to him. I think he's an absolute baller. I love the film that his father presented. I was like, oh my goodness, he looks nice. But then you have Kool-Aid entering the NFL draft. You have Terrion. You have Malachi Moore. You had Caleb Downs. You had Jalen Key. So a lot of those guys were part of Alabama's secondary, and it was tough for a lot of these guys to get on the field. Even Trey Amos. I mean, as much as he balled out, he couldn't really see the field this past year as well. So I think it is a blow losing Earl Little, but then again, you look at all the secondary players that Alabama was able to add from the class of 2024, specifically with Damani Jackson coming in, who will be a junior by the time he gets to Alabama. By the way, I was catching up with someone yesterday, actually at Target. I went to Target. I took my little girl to Target, and it's always nice to run into different people to watch the show, and they said that Damani Jackson already in town doing some shopping. So those guys already ready to go, turn the page of 2024, but Earl Little Jr. leaving, I think, is a bit of a blow to Alabama. They'll recover, of course. Best wishes to him as he goes to Florida State. Next thing I want to talk about is Jace McClellan. Now, Jace McClellan has not made an official announcement, but the Tuscaloosa News, which clearly has a pulse on everything because they're right here. One of their writers, Nick Kelly, does a really good job, dialed in guy, says that what they are hearing is he is leaning towards going to the NFL. They don't have to post an official announcement what they're going to do, whether they're going to come back for another year. We find out if they're in the transfer portal because there's people who have scoop in the transfer portal. But sometimes, like Najee Harris was a classic case. Like he didn't make an announcement that he was coming back. Like he just showed back up and he got back to work for his final season at Alabama. I think when you look to Jace overall, you have to look at the fact that he could go to Alabama. And let's kind of look at Jace's overall career. I was digging this up before the show. Since 2020, he's put together a nice career at the University of Alabama. 1,900 yards with 18 total touchdowns. This past season, he had 890 yards and 15 touchdowns for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So there's been no official announcement. I think when you look to the Alabama running back room, with Alabama just adding another running back, it kind of does tell us the story that maybe Jace is going. And as you know, Roydell hit the transfer portal. So to recap the running backs at Alabama, you have Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, Richard Young, Kevin Riley, who Alabama just added, and then Daniel Hill, who Alabama just added as well. So it's big, imposing back in Daniel Hill. I think he's like 240. There were some really good comparisons inside the comment box that you guys felt that he was like Lindell White or, some of these other big backs that are up in that 240 range. So no announcement officially from Jace McClellan, but all signs kind of look to pointing that he is headed to the NFL. And we wish him the best. I know his mom got on social media as well and was talking to a bunch of clowns on there, saying that he could come back if he wanted to and that he was nearly playing with a broken foot at the end of the season. He looked really nice against Michigan. Okay, we have run the thumbs up, fam. I want to see those thumbs up go up. Let's get over 500 in this video. We got 90 on right now. Good morning to you. Coming to you on Monday, January 8th, 2024. 2024, my goodness. All right, so the national championship game is tonight. And you have Michigan, who is a 4.5-point favorite over Washington. Never thought I would see, this is the national championship game, but here we are. I think that Michigan is going to win this game. Again, I've been wrong about Washington several times. I've missed on them a couple times before. But Jim Harbaugh is, as we know, pretty awkward type dude, but he is a good college football coach. My question to you inside the comment box, do you think that Jim Harbaugh will head to the NFL? As you know, his brother's doing big things with the Baltimore Ravens, always has. John is an exceptional defensive-minded coach, and I think he's been helping out Jim probably, in these playoff runs. Can you imagine having you call up your brother John and you're like, yo, John, can you help me out prep for the Alabama Crimson Tide, or, prep for Michael Penix Jr., who's going to be an NFL-type quarterback? So I think that Michigan is able to win. Let me know what you think inside the comment box. Who do you think wins tonight between Michigan and Washington? Want to get your take. And I think it was J.D. Piquel from the Hard Count on 3. He asked, do you think that there will be an asterisk if Michigan is to win this game? I thought that was a damn good question. I was like, wow. I was like, all right, because of all the signs still in, right? And it's funny how we haven't talked about that again. And maybe it's because it wasn't that big of a deal. I just thought that there would be, I think there was a reporter for AL.com that did ask Coach Saban about that in the last press conference before the actual game. But that kind of got swept under. Plus, he was suspended for 3 games, and Michigan kept on fighting, and here they are playing Washington for the national title game. I was looking at Michael Penix Jr., who's an absolute baller in every sense of the word. Did you know that he is 23 years old? And I think I said this on my last show. There was someone on social media that put together all of how old the quarterbacks were, and Michael Penix Jr. is 23 years old. For reference, Bryce Young, who's a quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, is only 22 years old, which is crazy. So Penix Jr. is, the touch that he has on some of the ball placement, really exceptional. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. I know that Jane Daniels won the Heisman Trophy, but I think that he was the best quarterback in college football for sure. Couple pieces of NFL news. D'Amico Ryans, all right, is the head football coach of the Texans. As you know, he's just 39 years old, out of Bessemer, Alabama. Last season, the Texans were 3-13-1. This season, 10-7, winning the FC South. And CJ Stroud threw for 4,100 yards this season with 22 touchdowns his first year. What a season, right? Could be up for a coach of the year. It's really nice to see. I mean, you know that I follow the 49ers, so it's good to see the former defensive coordinator, someone from the great state of Alabama, now is the head football coach of the Texans, and what they've been able to do coming up with the Browns here in the playoffs game. Love D'Amico Ryans. What a great coach. Be a great coach to play for sure. All right. One more piece of NFL news, and then I want to kind of go over the roster, and then I'm going to check the phone line to see if we can get the calls in. Either way, I'm going to have a call-in show today, so just hang with me. I'm messing with some new stuff here on the show, so always trying to get bigger, try to get to kind of another level, so just hang with me. Derrick Henry, end of an era at Tennessee for the Titans. Kind of sad to see it. Will enter free agency in March. This last game against the Jags, 153 yards and a score. Overall, did you know that Derrick Henry has rushed for 9,500 yards and 90 touchdowns with the Titans? My goodness, man. Miss watching Derrick Henry clearly at Alabama, and it's going to be weird seeing him with another squad. I'll tell you what, if I'm an NFL team, I certainly welcome Derrick Henry to my program. I mean, it doesn't I know he has a lot of miles on him, but I'm still taking Derrick Henry. I mean, he just ripped off 153, as I said, against the Jags. So that's kind of my NFL wrap up. Players, let me see if I can take this call real quick. You guys let me know inside the comment box. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it. And if you guys can't hear the call, then say no. And then I'll come back at the top of the hour, which will be at 10, and I'll have a call-in show. But just let me know. I'm going to take this call and just be like, yo, I can hear it or I can't. And then we'll move forward from there. All right, let's see. We got a 973. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from? What's up? Chris from New Jersey. Chris, hang on one tight. Let me see if everybody can hear you. You guys cannot hear Chris. Give me nope. All right. Okay. Chris, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the call and show in the old format back at the 10 o'clock hour, which will be 10 Central Time. So call back and we'll talk about it. Okay. All right, man. Take it easy. All right. See ya. All right. Well, that solves that. Okay. So 10 o'clock Central Time, mark it down. We'll come back and we'll do the call show. All right. So real quick, headed to the NFL for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I kind of broke it up and I posted this in the community tab. I posted guys who are headed to the NFL, coaching movements, transferring from Alabama, key returners, and then transfers in. Okay. So here we go. Headed to the NFL, you have Chris Braswell headed to the NFL, waited his time. He's a perfect example of somebody who waited their turn as a 5-star, could have left into the transfer portal, could have took an NIL deal because it did exist when he was here at Alabama, waited his turn. He's about to make a ton of money at the University of Alabama. Dallas Turner leaving the NFL, top 10 pick. Darian Dalcourt, I don't know if he's going to be, make the NFL, but he's out of eligibility at the University of Alabama. Jalen Key going on to the NFL. Jace McClellan still waiting on an official update on him. J.C. Latham leaving early. Jermaine Burton leaving the NFL draft. Justin Ibogbe leaving the NFL draft. Kool-Aid leaving early. Terrion leaving early. But Terrion hasn't posted an official announcement. I'm going to keep saying that all week, I guess. Trezor Marshall leaving. Will Reichert out of eligibility going in the NFL. Coaching movements. You got Coleman Hutzler, the outside linebackers coach, who is leaving to be Mississippi State's defensive coordinator. Good move for him. And then Holman Wiggins, who is Alabama's wide receiver coach, who is going to be the wide receivers coach at Texas A&M. Transferring from Alabama, Anquin Barnes, Earl Little Jr., who is transferring to Florida State. Need to update this. Eli Holsting, you guys saw that he is transferring to Pitt. He was the quarterback. And Pitt fans were asking me my thoughts on Eli Holsting. I think he fits into their system nice. I think that he's a pocket-style quarterback. I didn't see much escapability from him on his film. I know he's a bigger-style quarterback. Best wishes to Eli Holsting. But I think he fits with the Pitt Panthers really well, to be honest. Isaiah Hastings, he hit the portal before the Rose Bowl. Jake Pope, he hit the transfer portal yesterday. I thought that was a bit of a shock. I thought I would like to see Jake Pope have stayed, but, best wishes to him. Ja'Cory Brooks going to Louisville. Christian Story hit the portal. Malik Benson hit the portal. Miles Ketzelman, who was a tight end, he hit the portal. Monkel Goodwine just committed to South Carolina. That was yesterday. I thought he was a really good defensive lineman as well. Roydell Williams in the portal. That one's, you know what's going to hurt? Is to see where Roydell Williams goes. Honestly, that one's gonna sting a little bit. That one's gonna be like finding out that an old ex-girlfriend is happy. You know, you'll be like, okay, I'm happy for it. You know, it's gonna hurt a little bit just because I like what he brought to the table. I like his personality. He's very good running back at Alabama. I think it's gonna sting a little bit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear where he's going. All right, who else we got? We got Seth McLaughlin. He's going to Ohio State. You got Shaz Preston. He's transferring. Terrence Ferguson. He is transferring. That's kind of scary because I thought he'd be the center, as we've talked about. So I don't know who's going to be the center. I guess maybe James Brockemeyer for right now. And then Tyler Buckner transferring to Notre Dame to play lacrosse. Key returners. We're gonna have another video where I'll go over all the key returners actually, because there's too many to talk about. I was looking at the roster this morning, and I think it deserves its own video to kind of break it up position by position. But I know a lot of people were asking if Deontay Lawson was going to come back. He is going to come back. Same thing with Malachi Moore and Ty Simpson. So those are three notable guys who are coming back with, of course, Jalen Milroe. Somebody asked the other day inside the community tab, they're like, is anybody else coming back besides Milroe? No, a ton of guys, like a ton. So we will have another video where we break that down. Transfers into Alabama. You got Damani Jackson, who will be a junior at Alabama. You got George Hilo, who is be a special assistant to Coach Saban. Now, he was hired. He used to be at Alabama. Then he was at Michigan. And then Coach Saban brings him back to Alabama. And Coach Saban was asked if he's going to replace Coleman Hutzler as outside linebackers coach. This is before the Rose Bowl. And Coach Saban didn't want to elaborate on that. He said that he's kind of just a special assistant for right now. Other guys who have played that special assistant role, Butch Jones. So, you know, Coach Saban likes a guy who is highly organized, on top of things. And that is the role that George Hilo will play, I guess, for right now. I'm sure we'll learn more if he does become the outside linebackers coach. And no, I don't have an update on who will be the wide receivers coach, even though I know you guys inside the comment box would love for it to be Terrell Owens, which I think would be cool. You also have LT Overton, who will be a junior at Alabama. He is a defensive lineman. And then you have Nyquil Bentrade, who is just a freshman, who is an offensive tackle who will join in that position battle for the right tackle, I would assume, for this next season for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Because as we talked about before, Alabama does have their offensive line pretty much set outside of their center and their right tackle. But you have Caden Proctor coming back. Excuse me. You have Tyler Booker. We don't know who the center is going to be. You have Jaden Roberts, a.k.a. the Hulk. And then your right tackle is kind of up for debate. So that's kind of how that offensive line looks. So kind of just wanted to go over a couple of those topics going into this Monday. And of course, as news happens, I will be back on live with more breaking news shows right here on Bama Football on YouTube. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the call-in show and have it set for 10 a.m. Central Time. So I will take your calls here at 10 a.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I'm kind of trying a couple different things for the channel moving forward in 2024. And of course, we can't forget about the coaches or Ty Hayes. We got a lot of moving parts that I really want to kind of dial in, focus in as we're going into 2024. So run the thumbs up on these videos. I appreciate it. And it means a lot, whether you're a super chat member, whether you are a fan funder of this YouTube channel, or you're just hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate your contributions right here to Bama Football on YouTube. So I will be back at the 10 o'clock hour right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So catch up with you guys here in 40 minutes right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for joining me this morning at the 9 a.m. hour.